A new Akashic back door. It seems that same Digimon has once again warped the natural laws of the world. You'll have to defeat them, just like you did before.
Fade into the dust of space-time.
What?
This can't be good!
Absorbent. Bang!
As I feared, Parallelmon has created another Akashic backdoor. Yeah, I kind of figured that. It has to be destroyed, just like before. Good luck. Man, when are we gonna... Are you awake? You seem to have gotten caught up in our battle. Two disastrous results. I do hope you are not injured. But allow me to make appropriate introductions. I am Omnimon, and this is Doramon. So you got dragged into this world because of Parallelmon too, huh? Well, greetings, fellow stranger. Or straggler. A Digimon suddenly appeared before us and hit us with this strange beam of light. Absorb and bang? Next thing we knew, we were transported to this other world. Doubtless, it was the same for you. We all wish to return to our original worlds. I propose that we team up to defeat Parallelmon and make that happen. 4 other Digimon got sent here besides us. If we could track down all 4 of them and fight as one, we are sure to be more than a match for Parallelmon. Yeah, if we can fight as one. In any case, the more allies we have, the better we should search for Digimon we were separated from. So what do you say? Are you willing to lend us a hand? I can assure you that we are quite trustworthy. It kind of bothers me that it's always Parallelmon. You know, there is one other threat to the universe that can cause these kind of situations to happen. Millenniummon. And not just any Millenniummon. This Millenniummon. It's crazy to think that a monster like this, they finally bring it back into the series and bring it into the game, which I'm so happy they did. But it's not even his strongest form. You have all these other guys get all these crazy evolutions that go even beyond. But you don't give an X-Antibody for Alphanimon, Lilithmon, you don't even give the fucking next 2 evolutions for Millenniummon, who you could make into, like, if you're gonna make more parallel dimension stuff like this, you can use Millenniummon. He has that power, and he is that level of threat. And you can even add his other variants into the game. I forget what the crystal one is called. It's like Moon Ruin Millenniumon or something like that. He's like trapped in a crystal, but he used it as another stage of evolution. And then he goes after that into Zed Millenniumon, which is way bigger, way stronger, and more terrifying. Pretty much a living black hole that can control space and time, make copies of himself, make copies of other monsters. Like, it's insane how powerful Millenniumon is. And the thing is, they couldn't even kill him. They couldn't even kill him. They had to force him to de-evolve into a prior form. That's the only way they could, like, stop him. He was that much of a threat. Oh well.
What is this place?
Akashic backdoors use space-time disturbances to pry open pathways to different points in time and space. This creates isolated fragments of space-time called Akashic debris, which is what you're looking at right now.
Ah, yes, I see. What an intricate and baffling problem. Asuna, what I'm about to ask is far from scientific, but please don't laugh. Would you pinch me on the cheek?
This is no dream. I just pinched my thigh to make sure of that myself.
I see. In that case, let me ask. Are you the same you that I know? Never mind. I realized that was confusing. I'm rather confused myself, actually.
I take it that Digimon, Parallelmon, hit you with their beam of light as well? If so, then you're in the same position as us. We suddenly woke up to find ourselves in this strange white space. Then we opened a door and wound up here.
Those two probably come from a different timeline than you do. That means the fundamental laws of reality we once took for granted are breaking down because of Parallelmon. Not good.
Well, since we all arrived here under similar circumstances, I imagine we all share the same goal.
We have to defeat Parallelmon and get back to our world! And to do that, we need to reunite with the 4 Digimon we got separated from when we came here.
Yes, understood. Teaming up sounds like a good idea. And actually, we were separated from someone too. We'll need to drag that fool back with us as well.
Hey, everyone? Could you come over here? You're not gonna believe what's on the other side of this door.
Hey, isn't this? It seems we were right back where we started. Well, that's perfect. Then it gives us a chance to start over. Why don't you tell us about these 4 friends of yours? How might we recognize them? I'm not sure friends is the right word. What we and the other 4 have in common is that we harbor the substance in our bodies known as the X-Antibody. Yet, the principles we believe in could not be more different. As a result, we have split into 3 different groups. Given the circumstances of, however, it may be possible for us to get Set our differences aside to fight as one. Yeah, exactly. I really hope we can do that. A lot of stray Digimon as usual. So far, none of them look like they have the X-Antibody on them. Nope, nobody there. Yep, nobody up here either. There's nobody here, not a single soul in sight. They must be in someplace else. Let us investigate the door up ahead.
So, having explored this place a bit before we met you, I've come up with a few theories based on what we learned. We're probably from different timelines. That's the only way to account for the discrepancies in our stories. But, to verify that, would you mind telling us a little more about the world you come from?
Where to begin?
Dorumon and I have been searching for a means to counteract something called the X program. The X program can also be called the Digimon Elimination Program.
Digimon elimination? That doesn't exactly sound pleasant.
In our world, the rapid growth in the number of Digimon far outpaced any and all expectations. The vast amount of data consumed the digital world's resources at a rate ultimately believed to be unsustainable. Then, one day, the X program was suddenly put into place, as if to cull the outsized Digimon population.
The X program made so many Digimon disappear. Only the ones who managed to gain antibodies survived. Omnimon and I are two of these X-Antibody Digimon.
Now, though the resource crisis has been averted, the X program continues to ravage the Digimon population. Some see this as a travesty that demands action, while others believe the X program should be allowed to run its course. A meeting between the two sides was set to take place, but then we found ourselves transferred here.
I see. So basically, you've been divided by practical and ideological differences concerning this X program.
Yes, that's the gist of it. The division continues to run deep, and each group now acts entirely on its own.
Division from within, huh? Sounds like an old, familiar story. Wouldn't you say, Asuna?
I wouldn't even call it old. It wasn't that long ago that we left the organization.
No? So much has happened since then, it feels like ancient history. Anyway, the real point is, if even we could rejoin our old organization, there's hope these Digimon can fight together despite their differences.
Do it! Let's see what I can do. Eden's Javelin!
Give me a break.
X-Antibody! Now we're talking!
Is that a fight between Digimon?
It doesn't look like much of a fair fight.
Enough! This battle is clearly over.
Oh yeah? And why should we hold back? They attacked us first. Besides, there are too many Digimon in the world. It can't be helped that some aren't fit to survive.
This one doesn't possess the X-Antibody. They could never hope to defeat us chosen Digimon.
It seems these two will not listen to reason. We will have to stop them by force.
Now it's my turn! Hurricane Screw Shot!
Sephiroth Crystal! I got this! Time to fight!
Let that be a lesson to a lot of you. Now calm down. The circumstances in this world are nothing like our own. I hold that the resource crisis due to the beginning of Digimon population will eventually spread to all worlds. Therefore, the best thing to do is to nip the problem in the bud. Parallelmon's existence may be a blessing in disguise. What a disturbing thing to say. They view the X program as a boon, and believe it should be embraced as part of natural selection. As they see it, since only the strong will survive, this will bring about the next evolutionary step for our species. They think they're so special. Boy, does that rub me the wrong way. The idea that selection and evolution go hand in hand may be extreme, but there is some logic behind it. However, whether something is logical, coherent, and whether it is an optional solution are separate matters altogether. If they believe their way is the one true way, they still have a lot to learn. Cooperating with them won't be easy. Those two do not seem to mind to listen. Let's search for the others. They must be in some place else. Let us investigate the door up ahead.
Stop this. We're all Digimon here. What purpose will it serve for us to fight one another?
Exactly. We want to save all the Digimon. Even those without the X-Antibody.
This is like the reverse of what we saw before. These Digimon are trying to call for an end to the fighting.
But that leaves them completely on the defensive.
We should lend them a hand. Ready to go. Eden's Javelin! Please?
If I must. Holy Flare!
Now it's my turn! Hurricane Screw Shot! Hit!
Yay!
Are you all right? I do hope you are not injured. Why did you harm them? Was it because of your prejudice toward them? Sorry, I was afraid of this. Afraid of what? These are Digimon who oppose the X program. Frankly, it is hard to imagine there are many in favor of a program that threatens to render our kind extinct. It is not only the X program that we oppose, we are against any form of violence between Digimon rooted in prejudice. So how is your thinking any different from that of Omnimon and Doramon here? They seem to believe something needs to be done about the X program too. No, the two of them are merely cowards. Hey, who are you calling a coward? You have the X-Antibody, which means you lived through the tragedy. It's your duty as a savior to end the program. There's nothing to hesitate for. What would you have me call that besides cowardless? Though I hardly wish for it, the truth is that the X program is resolving the resource crisis. Carefully observing the current situation may ultimately lead to the least loss of life. We must think before we act. We do not have time for such deliberate consideration. How many Digimon do you think have died while you sat around? We wish to save all Digimon, which is why we must seize this opportunity. Yes, we shall defeat that Digimon Parallelmon and use their power to accomplish our goals. Well, there they go. I have to say, they were as stubborn as ever. It isn't hard to understand their line of thinking. It's the instinct of every living being to try and fend off a threat. Even without a concrete, effective solution, and no matter how low the odds, they are urged to keep fighting. It isn't logical at all, but feelings never are. It almost sounds like you're talking about you and me. Although, the threat we face is different. By the way, What do they mean about using Parallelmon's power to accomplish their goals? That is as much of a mystery to me as it is to you. I suggest we track them down again and ask them. We will all need to work together if we hope to return home. I feel like I want to change some Digimon around. Nah, we'll keep you here.
Look!
So, the pro-X program faction has run into the anti-X program faction. This can't be good.
Selection is a natural law. The X program is a test bestowed upon us from on high, so that we might progress towards the next stage in our evolutionary development as a species.
The X-Antibody is no instrument of divine will. It is a program, no more and no less.
You seriously believe yourselves to be chosen beings? Your arrogance knows no bounds.
I can see no value in further conversation.
Aw, they're fighting again?
Everyone, please! This place is not our world! Can we not at least work together until we are able to return home?
You should already know the answer to that. Cooperation is out of the question.
We're going to do what we believe is right, and it seems they've reached a similar conclusion.
Yes, if we can defeat Parallelmon and make use of its power, we can solve everything.
So, it comes down to a race. Whoever defeats Parallelmon first will have their way.
What exactly are you saying? And in any case, Parallelmon will be no easy foe. Unless we all work together.
Cowards need to keep their mouths shut.
There are two doors here. We need not share the same path.
I couldn't agree more. From this point on, it'll be a race.
Oh, why can't we work together? Even at a time like this?
What's so funny?
They're just so hopelessly naive, immature, idealistic. Each group believes in their own sense of justice, that theirs is the one true way. How many conflicts have broken out from a disagreement on what's right? So even here, history repeats itself. The world of Digimon is not so different from our own. Truly fascinating.
Well, as far as we're concerned, we need to get them to band together. Otherwise...
Yes. Otherwise, we probably won't be able to beat Parallelmon, meaning we'll be stuck here forever. We have to go after them.
The only question is, which way do we proceed? Through the digital-looking door after the Pro-X program group? Or through the wooden door after the Anti-X program group?
I kind of agree more with this group, but the fact they're going to use Parallelmon makes me question them. I'm going with this one. I know this place. It's in Canberra. So, we're in our world? It looks like more Ashkake debris has appeared before you. A different space must be fragmenting this time. Now this is a lovely part, and that one too, just gorgeous. Ooh, not bad part, no thank you. I need to make that device as reality, or Digimon phase electronic life forms will prove to threat humanity. Digimon, a threat? Do Digimon attack humans in your world? The sad truth is, a certain number of Digimon simply cause trouble. If it were only the chosen. Overpopulation is at the root of all of this, though it pains me to say it, the process of selection must continue. The conversation didn't sound very funny to me. Oh no, not funny at all. They were being completely logical. Everything they said fits together perfectly. Maybe a little too perfectly. They seem drunk on their own logic. Perhaps that's why they consider themselves chosen. If you ask me, I'd say that conversation of theirs was overly logical. There was no joy in it. And that's a problem? Of course. Without some spark of hope, something to make the heart leap, their claim of evolutionary step forward is a sham. We need to tell them that, which is just another reason we should keep going after them. Infinity Mountain from Digimon World 1? Strange you found yourself as soon as possible. Natural laws of this world are beginning to collapse. This is a scene from primitive times. Chaos itself is Paralamon's territory. Imagine the seas expanding even further. Seizing power of... Jesus. You expect me to read all that? Like, that quick? Something about this place seems familiar. Would you not agree, Omnimon? There is a certain aspect of this world that resembles our own. The tension in the air is reminiscent of that following conflict that broke out regularly in the X program. I'm curious, could you just describe to me in concrete terms how exactly the X program works? It lodges itself within a Digimon, then ultimately deletes it from existence. The only way to escape its effects is to possess the X-Antibody, which is... You there! Hand over your X-Antibodies! Since possessing the X-Antibody is a matter of life and death, there are many who try to take it by force. These Digimon are merely sent here by Parallelmon as well. Beware, they are on the attack.
Preparations complete. Take this!
All delete! You're going down!
damage.
Well,
Although this is supposed to be the
Here it
same
comes!
game difficulty,
Supreme
and I'm
Cannon!
using weaker monsters because I want to see their attacks.
It's time! Seek Saber!
I'm counting on you.
There's my boy.
Ultimate Saber Kick!
He blocked it.
I'm greatly obliged. Supreme Cannon! Shield of the Just!
Why is it doing zero? Why does it do nothing to him?
Please? Let's see what
Why
I can
does
do.
nothing work on it?
Rock Crystal!
Thank you. Yeah!
I'm counting on you. Now it's my turn. Fly, bullet!
Seriously?
There you go. We're sorry. It was wrong of us to attack you. We won't try to steal them anymore, so please, just let us keep our antibodies. It seems their X-Antibodies are extrinsic rather than intrinsic. Extrinsic? So there are different types of X-Antibodies? As aside from a few special cases, most Digimon acquire the antibody extrinsically, which is where selection comes in. It may be sad, but we must accept that a trial bestowed upon us will lead us to the evolution of Digimon as a species. The X-Antibody completely nullifies the X program, but it does not last forever. After it has been used up, the X program will continue to act as a force of natural selection. Survivors must battle amongst themselves for the X-Antibody in order to stay alive. I see. So those Digimon just now were risking their lives in an attempt to acquire the antibody. How brutal. It's like a scene straight out of hell. No, this is a trial bestowed upon us that we must overcome. The weak shall die, but if that is the divine law we must live by, I wish to at least make it so they do not suffer. Yes, that is the compassionate thing to do. They can't be serious. Their thinking has never so extreme before. Before they acquired the X-Antibody. could the antibody itself be affecting their personalities? There are plenty of examples of bodily changes having an impact on personality, though. They're all in human cases. I'm sensing the presence of others. Most likely there are more Digimon who are after the X-Antibody lurking nearby. Justice must be served, so what we do will not change. If you try to stop us, we may end up in quite the rivalry.
What is this place? This is not our world.
You want me to leave public safety with you?
Yes, I have some concerns about the organization, which I suspect you share.
I've already written my resignation. Ever since Captain Karemi quit, I feel like things have gotten out of hand. When he was still around, it felt like we had purpose. But I'm surprised to hear that you're leaving too, Dr. Simmons. I thought... Don't you see Digimon as enemies?
I did, until very recently. I believed preparing for the coming threat of the Digimon was the right thing to do. But depending on the situation, the right thing to do can change. Clinging to a single vision of justice is foolish.
Which is exactly what the Public Safety Office is doing right now.
That's right. I see you're every bit as sharp as I suspected. That test subject Captain Karemi's friend brought in, Aegeomon, I think it was. That Digimon clearly had his own will, his own emotions. More importantly, he trusted the humans he was with. Seeing that caused me to reevaluate my understanding, or rather, you could say that those two taught me something. They showed me that Digimon and humans can understand one another. What's so funny?
The wonders never cease. What you said just now didn't sound like data or facts. It sounded like a dream of yours.
What is science for but to make people's hopes and dreams come true? I'm sure that's what Dr. Yuki would say. I don't want to create instruments of war.
Instruments of war? Did Digimon start a conflict in your world?
They played a crucial role in the outbreak of one. That much is objective fact. But please, don't misunderstand. I don't blame Digimon at all. I believe we can find a way to coexist.
There's no perfect future where all can be happy and live in harmony. Such lies will save no one. It's just as I've been saying. Selection is a necessity. There are too many unnecessary Digimon in this world. Your future is the result of that.
We need the X program, and with Parallelmon's ability, we can carry out the process of selection more efficiently.
More efficiently? What do you mean by that?
We can isolate all lesser beings in another dimension. That will resolve everything.
But that is absurd! How can you even consider such a monstrous solution?
Apologies, but we aren't interested in a debate. If you wish to try and stop us by force, we won't hold back.
Doesn't seem like there's any common ground to be found at all.
Maybe we won't be able to cooperate after all.
That's what happens when folks get too fixated on one idea of what's right. They talk of evolution, but the true meaning of that term involves adapting to fit an environment. For those who insist they don't need to change, there can be no evolution.
So they haven't found Kuroi either? That's right, sir. I'm afraid we've lost many of our old comrades. Some were caught up in the explosion over the government building. Others died because of the anomalous phenomena. There are also lots of people who are still unaccounted for. But there's one thing we can say for certain. Every one of them was doing all they could to accomplish their mission. So I can't just sit around doing nothing. Dr. Simmons and I are returning to the anonymous affairs. The public safety office is barely even functional anymore, but somebody has to do something. Dr. Kurumi. No, Captain Kurumi. What are you going to do? I'm going to fight. I'm going to face down our foes, however terrifying the enemy Digimon may be. You would fight Digimon? I won't deny what I've done. I've taken up arms against Digimon many times now, so that we humans might survive. Hate me if you will. You have every right. Honestly, Asuna, do you have to put that so bluntly? Oh, I suppose that is rather in your character review. Still, I haven't given up. Given up? On what? Coexistence. You would speak of such things? You, who have taken up arms against Digimon? How absurd. In truth, you are every bit as self-centered as those other cowards.
Wow!
Yeah, I couldn't get away from him.
Miracle Bomb!
Sick!
Preparations complete. Let's see what I can do. Eden Javelin!
That's right, sir. They're a hostile Digimon we haven't been able to get much of a handle on so far. Dr. Simmons has a theory that they can travel freely through space-time. I see. Then we'll need to take action as soon as possible. Man, just the thought of traveling through space-time gets my head spinning. Makes me wonder what's even real anymore. Do you remember what you said to me back when I was still new to the public safety? I signed up because I wanted to do what was right. But once I got within the bonds of the organization, I started to question what the right thing to do really was. I wasn't even sure if it was humanity that we should be protecting anymore. I was lost, I was worried, and I couldn't see my way through. But you noticed that and decided to encourage me. You told me that I was exactly the right kind of person to work in public safety. That none are more trustworthy than those who question what is right, and that nothing is more terrifying than an arbitrary sense of justice. That sometimes matters more than using righteousness as a weapon, such as always questioning what is just. And that is such to have doubts about these things is in our own kind of skill. If it weren't for those very words, I wouldn't be standing here today, continuing to question what is right. Some things matter more than using righteousness as a weapon. What is it? Sorry, it's nothing. Never mind.
Much appreciated. That one. Ready to go. I'm counting on you. You want some of this? Plasma shot! Please?
Victory sword! Oh yeah!
Let's see what I can do. Eden Javelin!
Thank you. Here it comes! All delete!
Sephiroth Crystal!
Here goes! The ray of victory!